opening review, I am going to turn to Steven. Steven, tell us how you felt about The Way Back.
So I was not very looking forward to watching this, mainly because I didn't want to give you the satisfaction of winning. No, I wasn't really sure what to expect because first of all, there was some confusion over like what the movie was actually about.
Yeah, my synopsis was incorrect. It's not about World War II so much as it is. It actually takes place before World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it took place during World War II.
It was 1941, right? So that's during World War II.
So I'm right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't sure what it was about, and I think I was getting it confused with another recent movie about like Iraq War veterans.
Oh yeah.
Which might have been the way home or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was, and plus I had to watch it at like 1 o'clock in the morning because it's the only time I had time.
I think we all watched it. Like 1 o'clock in the morning.
And I had stuff to do, so I was like, I gotta get this done. I watched it, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I was
You stayed awake the entire time, right?
I was like,
which for an epic at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it could do that.
Because I remember when I started, I was like, oh God, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, no. But I stayed awake. I thought I was going to fall asleep, and I figured, well, I'll finish the rest of it No, not at all. I was like, I was on it, hook, line, and sinker all the way through. It was absolutely incredible. I was kind of, which has nothing to do with the film itself. I was kind of unsure whether or not it was just sort of based on this, thing, this sort of
myth that has occurred,
or if it was based on actual events.
And I haven't looked up any of that. One of our commenters on Facebook, my friend Dave Biesacker, commented that he didn't like it because it changed the actual historical fact of whatever happened.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with that.
I am too.
The problem, if it actually was based on historical events, then the ending kind of leaves something to be desired because you have no idea what happens with these people. Whereas if it's just sort of based on this kind of myth, then I'm okay with the ending. So I'm just going to assume it's based on this sort of myth of what happens and not the actual events. And this is beautiful.
Brian, how'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it also. I mean, I remember when it came out.
I want to see it.
I think I had the opportunity to watch it, but I watched something else that I was more... It was...
Police Academy 6.
I think, yes, Police Academy 6. I believe the direct-to-DVD movie Police Academy 6 is higher on my list than The Way Back.
Yep.
No, I think I watched something that was more action-y, blow stuff up movie.
Yeah.
And I'm a little upset that I kind of put this one off to the side and didn't watch it. Because I feel like this movie would have looked great in a theater.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine just sitting there in the dark and watching like these beautiful scenery shots that you just generally don't get in set movies. You have to go outside on location to film these things, and
it was shot with the aid of National Geographic.
Yeah,
and you can really tell.
Yeah, some of those Gobi Desert shots were just absolutely gorgeous,
stunning. Yeah,
yeah.
I really liked Ed Harris's character is probably by far my favorite.
He's really complex. Yeah, and he sort of what's so fascinating. He sort of embodies a completely different side of that 1940s American that we rarely see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, really that kind of that. I mean, a man who wants to make something of himself. You forget that he went to Russia during the Great Depression for a job.
Yeah.
Which is really no. That's
yeah.
Like
I know. That's like
it's not what you would think about. But he leaves America. We forget that it was an awful time then. You know, and just his persona of still that strong-willed person, but who's like driven by guilt, you know, is rarely an aspect of Americana that. But so we all agree this one's really, really good, and it for me it reconfirms how amazing a director Peter Weir is. I mean, first off, he always gets beautiful, beautiful shots in his films. Peter Weir, just to give you a recap of what he's done, the 4 big ones that I always think of are Master and Commander, The Truman Show, Dead Poets Society, and Witness. He also did Witness. Just Harrison Ford as an
Actually, I
Amish
haven't
man.
seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Harrison Ford becomes like a violent Amish guy, and like beats the crap out of people.
Huh.
It's pretty good.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's about an Amish boy who witnesses a murder, and so the witness protection program goes in to protect him.
Okay.
Because they won't take him away. He hasn't been that prolific lately, but here's a little something to think about. The man has been making films since 1968. And in 1972, he made 6 films. In Australia, he was extremely prolific, especially in the 70s. And he really didn't start picking up until Gallipoli in 1981. And he actually... He started off as, if you can believe it, a horror director.
I can believe it. I can see that.
There's a film I really want to watch called The Cars That Eat People, about exactly what you think it sounds about.
I think it's going to be about chickens.
Yeah. No, it's about cars that eat people.
I never would have guessed.
So I'm curious. What do you guys think about? Because when I see that Peter Weir is making a movie, now it gets me really excited because of his track record.
Well, we just watched Dead Poet Society recently. It's a movie that I've loved. It had such a big influence on my life. It's the reason I became an English major and went to grad school, and literally for that movie. The way in that movie, if you haven't seen it, well, you should have, so deal with it. The suicide scene is shot like a horror film. Mm-hmm. Where the father wakes up.
You don't know.
You don't hear anything. He wakes up. What was it sound? And they're walking down the hall.
It's so tense.
It's so tense, and you know what's happening, but...
And it's still shot with so much respect. There's not... gore all over the place.
There's no blood at all.
Yeah.
And but the way that's shot is shot like a horror film, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That,
something that he's done. The main film you've seen is The Truman Show, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched The Truman Show, so some details are probably fuzzy, but I really loved that show.
Mm-hmm.
It was reality TV, right as
it was picking up.
As it was picking up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
1998.
Ed Harris again.
Ed Harris.
I feel like that show should be the way reality shows are done, but but that's besides
some
the point.
ethical problems.
That's besides the point. Well, not raise a child in film, but I mean, just no editing out and editing events to look
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's just a great cast. Jim Carrey as a serious actor is leaps and bounds better than Jim Carrey as a comedian.
Captured them all pretty well.
Well,
what is a place that you think needs to have a really cool epic done in it, captured, that you think would be really awesome to just see it filmed? And then there's a second part to this question, which is basically...
Real place?
Yeah, a real place, a real place you think would make for a really good epic that really probably hasn't been done yet or hasn't been done the right way,
Because I was going to say The Last Airbender, but...
No, a place in, in the world that really hasn't been actually filmed. There isn't, a big, huge...
I can't say they have done it, but they haven't done it, a wide release film.
Yeah.
Is the Shackleton story.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Antarctica. And they've never really done, a epic film in Antarctica, and that would be the perfect story for that.
Normally, it's kind of the Thing, which we talked about before. But Antarctica is such a huge continent.
Yeah,
nobody's really ever fully filmed it, except in documentaries.
Yeah,
and those people film from a vehicle.
Yeah, it would be crazy. Antarctica would be really cool.
They did do.
I really liked the parts in the way back that were in Siberia.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that if you made an entire movie out of that section of Russia, that would be really cool.
It's really foreign to us too.
Yeah.
All those huge pine forests.
It's just trees and snow basically, and I think that while they touched on it a bit, just like how to like move around and live live in this climate.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have expanded on it more, and I think a movie based in that area would be really, really interesting to watch.
It was attempted, I think, with Apocalypto, but I want to see an epic in a jungle.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing that's
it's tough to film a jungle.
Yeah, because one of the things about epic is you have to have that big sprawling shot, and if you do that in a jungle, you just don't see anything.
Right.
It's
That's what's
tops
so
of
hard.
trees, you know.
But that in a way can also aid that movie, though, because you have this big zoomed out shot that it's now okay. So they're lost. They're clearly lost in this.
Whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only thing that you lose is you wouldn't be able to see like the characters, you know, walking across this huge barren.
To help protect the environment. Lens flares make